Hey guys, Dax here. So, you're getting into trucking, you're not sure which direction you want to go into first. So, there you got tanker, flatbed, dry van, reefer, and containers and all that other good stuff. There's so many different sides of trucking these days that you just gotta try it out. Just try it out. But if you're really out, love being outdoors, working with your hands, and just doing things, I definitely suggest try out flatbed first. If you're not so much, don't don't really like working with your hands too much, you're doing a lot of physical labor, I would not suggest flatbed. Um, it won't be a good fit for you. Now, say if you did reefer first or dry van first, and you absolutely hate it. You hate the customers, you hate the appointment times, you just absolutely hate what you're doing. Try flatbed. Give it a shot. Give it a try. See, that's how I started out on flatbed. At first, I was hauling. This was 2004. I was hauling dry vans for rail. That was the first company right out of driving school that I went to, and I tell you, I was hauling dry vans for them for I think it was like 3 months, and I quickly realized that was not for me, and I was just going to give up truck driving altogether and just be done with it. And so I called my fleet manager up after about the third month or so, and I was like, I'm done. I was like, trucking just wasn't for me. I'm out of it. I hated the appointment times. Literally like sitting at a customer for like 6, 8, 10, 12 hours, and it's not like flatbed. Flatbed, we sit at a customer like that like maybe once a month, if that, a few times a year. On the dry van and reefer side of it, it's pretty much weekly. You're going to go to customers every week that are like that. It's just I can't deal with it. It wasn't for me. So after 3 months, called my fleet manager, and she talked me into hauling flatbeds. Actually, no, that wasn't my first fleet manager. I ended up getting another fleet manager. It was a guy, and he talked me into hauling flatbeds for rail. So I swapped over to the flatbed side, and never really looked back. Hauled flatbeds for rail up until 2006, and then I took a local job with a food vending company, home every night, just local gig, and I loved it. And so then I got another local gig as a yard man, and I was a yard man for a small mom and pop company until the old man retired and didn't rebid on the contract, so I ended up quitting that. And so then I went back to hauling flatbeds after all that fell through. So I mean, it's just something that I enjoy doing, something that I enjoy. Well, at that point I had never hauled reefers. So it was like 2015. Yeah, I believe it was like 2015 or so. I decided to start hauling reefers just to give it a try. I'd never hauled reefers before that, so I was like, let's see how this works out. And the first company I was with them for 6 months, and we was doing really well. And then they got bought out by an investment group. It was Charles Gant, or Gant Trucking. They got bought out by an investment group, and then it quickly went downhill from there. After he sold the company, I don't even believe they're around anymore. I believe that investment group sold everything off. But yeah, they ran that company into the dirt. But I went over to JCT. That was a mistake, big mistake. That was terrible. That was one of the worst companies The two worst companies I hands down ever drove for was Cypress Truck Lines out of Jacksonville, Florida, and John Christianer Trucking. Hands down, two of the worst. You want to live off of ramen noodles all your life and borrow money all your life and stuff like that, go drive for one of those two companies. You're going to stay broke. They're good at that. Especially Cypress. Holy smokes. You see a Cypress driver, take him out to dinner because he probably hasn't eaten in a week. But, yeah, it's terrible. Terrible companies. But, yeah, you got to try to choose what's going to make you happy out here. And then, like, hauling reefers, I knew after about 6 months of hauling reefers, coast to coast, staying out, ridiculous. Staying out what? I used to stay out 6 to 8 weeks at a time, hauling a reefer for JCT, and that was it. I was not down with that. So I went over to Maverick Transportation, and drove for them. I stayed over there for about three and a half years, right around in there, and it was a good company. I made good money with them. Can't really complain about that. It's just the micromanaging over there that just made it not worth it for me. Not worth it for me to stay, especially after 3.5 years. And you have no control of your home time. There's a lot of extra bull crap you got to put up with working for them. And I'm not. That's not being vindictive of them. It's the truth. That's why. If you ask people why they left Maverick, 90% of them is going to tell you exactly what I just said. It's just not worth all the hoops that they make you jump through. It's not that good of a company to deal with all that. So, and the pay is definitely not worth it. I mean, you're not going to make, they preach their, 65 cents a mile or something like that. How is it I was making, like, in the mid-60s, I can't remember when I quit, I was making like 65 cents a mile or somewhere up there. Why was it I'm making 65 cents a mile, and here I am only making 56 cents a mile, and I'm bringing home the same kind of money? I don't understand the math on that. I really don't. I don't understand it. Like, I don't know what Maverick does or what they do, what Montgomery does or what they do, but in the end, I still bring home the same kind of money. You're still going to make, at the end of the week, going home every weekend, you're still going to end up making like 70, 80, 90,000 a year. It doesn't matter if you're Montgomery or Maverick. That's what you're going to make, between 70 and 90 grand a year going home every weekend. It don't matter. It really don't. And it definitely wasn't worth all the hoops they made me go through. But yeah, you have to find what makes you happy. And so reefers was definitely not making me happy. Having to stay out 6 to 8 weeks just to try to bring home $1,000. Like, it's oh man, I'm on a Facebook group, and there's a bunch of reefer drivers in there, and so I just asked them a question: why? Like, how much? Like, you guys are staying out like a month and a half at a time, and only taking off like 3 to 4 days. How's that worth it? Like, how much are y'all got to be making 6 figures? If y'all ain't making 6 figures, then why are y'all doing it? It makes no sense. Like, if you're not making 6 figures, like legit 6 figures, I'm not talking about 90 grand a year. I'm not talking about 95,000 a year. I'm not talking about like 101,000 a year. I'm talking about like you would literally have to make it worth my while to stay out like that, 120 to 130,000 a year, just off my mileage pay to make it worth it. You guys aren't doing that. Y'all ain't making that much. You're not. I know you're not. Not unless you add in like some type of referral pay or some type of referral bonus type deal that they may have. But go home. Go home. It ain't worth staying out like that. I don't care what company you're with. It's not worth it. All right, guys, just letting you know, like, I don't know, it just kind of bothers me. Like, why would you stay out that way? Stay out that long. Tell you what, leave me a comment below. Let me know. Why do you guys stay out for like 70, 80, 90,000 a year when you can be pulling a flatbed, doing the same thing, going home every weekend?